Hi there, everyone. My name is Lyndsey Clouatre, and I live in Alexandria, Virginia, and I am an urban planner. I work for the city of Fairfax, Virginia. And so, as an urban planner, what I do is I help to build and create and revitalize cities. And so, what that means is I work with a team of people to kind of take a look at what's going on in the city of Fairfax and try to figure out where it should look like 10, 20, even 30 years out. So that means where the housing should go, where schools should go, where parks should go, playgrounds, shopping, all of that. So what I do a lot in my job is I write specific policies, and I work with a wide variety of people. So I work with the people who want to build things, the architects that they work with, people who live in the community, who work in the community, who go to school in the community. And so working with all of them and getting their input, I try to work with my team to make documents and policies and regulations that are fair, and it helps the city grow in a fun, walkable way. One of the things that's really big in urban planning and in my job is walkability. So we want to make it so that everyone can walk to school if they choose to, or walk to shopping, walk to the grocery store, walk to playgrounds and parks, and needs to be safe to get around because not everyone likes to drive. And so we want to make it so that if you don't want to drive, you don't have to drive. And that's a really fun part of my job, is being able to design a city for everyone to live in. I really like that. And so in order to become an urban planner, so I got my bachelor's degree at George Washington University. I studied politics and public policy, which is kind of about working in government and how you interpret and make various laws and regulations. And then I got my master's degree at Georgetown University, specifically in urban planning. And so that's where I studied more in depth how to write good policies and make regulations that were fair and equitable for everyone in the communities. I didn't always think that I would end up working in urban planning. For a long time, I really thought I was going to be a veterinarian because I love animals too. But I realized when I was in college, because I went to college in DC, and it was really the first time I was able to get around without a car. I grew up in a community where you needed a car to get anywhere. And so living in DC and being able to walk around, it really made me think, this is really interesting. Like, I can walk here to there and do everything I need to without being in a car. Well, who are the people who do this? And that's kind of when I realized that urban planning was a profession. And so after I graduated from undergrad, I worked for a little while in a few jobs. And then ultimately I did go back to school so I could become an urban planner. So I definitely didn't think that I would end up in the profession forever. But I was really excited to find that career path, just because personally I love walking. I just like to walk around my community, and being able to help people do that and walk around their own communities, that's something that really excites me about being an urban planner. We have a lot of challenges in our profession. I would say the biggest one is getting everyone to agree on things. I'm sure you face this every day. You know, you have an opinion, someone else has an opinion, but you have to figure out a path forward. And even though you disagree on how to do something, well, it still has to be done. And we actually do a lot of this in urban planning. Sometimes a proposal will come in for, let's say, a new apartment building or a new shopping center, and people might not like it. So one of the things that's really challenging that I have to do is kind of help work with people. And sometimes what that means is if people are very concerned that, say, a lot of parking is coming into a new shopping center, that can have a bad impact on the environment. So in that, to kind of solve that, what I might do is work with the developers and the people who are going to build it in order to kind of reduce the amount of parking so we can keep trees, we can keep grass, things like that. So really, just like you experience in your everyday lives, compromise is a big part of being an urban planner and kind of getting everyone to get along and work together. What I love about my profession, like I said, I love being able to walk around everywhere. It's one of my favorite things about the neighborhood I live in. I can just do just about everything I want on foot. And so when I realized that there was this job path that allowed me to kind of share that joy of walking around with people in a community, that's something that really makes me happy. And when I find out that I worked on a specific project and, say like I was able to get a sidewalk in somewhere and someone lets me know, oh, that's so great. We've been looking for a safe way to get around. That really excites me. Also along that lines, bike paths. Bike paths are really important because a lot of people, even if they can't walk somewhere and they don't want to drive, they still might want to ride their bikes. So being able to work with people to get new, safe ways to ride their bikes from point A to point B, that's really exciting to me. And I actually just wrapped up a project where we worked on implementing new bike lanes. And we're in the very beginning stages of that, but just identifying how people get around and what we can do to make it a lot more fun and a lot more safe. It's something that I really like to do. So there are some special tools that I use. I always use a computer. A computer is a very big part of being an urban planner because you have to manipulate a lot of data, you have to do a lot of research, so computers are very important. And then I also, as an urban planner, I make a lot of maps. So just kind of like the maps that you might have in your classrooms, I make those for a living. And so I use this program, it's called ArcMap. And so it uses a special system called GIS, which is a graphical interface system that takes data you put into it and makes maps. And so some of the things that I make maps of could be where schools are in the city of Fairfax, where we're going to put new sidewalks, where certain communities are. So you can make maps for just about everything. And that's something else that I like about my job. I really love making maps. So being able to work in this program really excites me. But that is a special skill set that you do have to develop as an urban planner. That's something that I had to take a lot of courses on during grad school to kind of learn how to use this program. And I still have to do a lot of research on my own just to kind of figure out how it works. So that's definitely a very special tool that I use. I would say for any advice that I would give, I think what the coolest thing about urban planning is to me, in addition to helping people be able to walk, is that everyone's opinion is so important. And so what that means is that if you see something about your neighborhood, you can make that observation and it matters just as much as mine does. Even though this is my job, you as a citizen in your community, your input is very important. So I would say if there's something that you observe about your neighborhood that, maybe you don't like or you wish was a little bit different, keep that in mind. Because these are things that as you become an adult, and if you do want to go into urban planning, these are things that you can change. And just knowing that you can make these observations now, you don't have to be a professional in order to do it. So that's big advice that I would have. Your opinion about where you live absolutely matters. And sharing it with people like me who do the work, that's really important. So anything that you have to say to someone like me, that's really helpful. What else would I say? I'd say, that studies are very important. Always keep up with your schoolwork. Not only is it good for you, but your teachers will very much appreciate that as well. And always ask questions. As an urban planner, I love it when I get questions from people from the community. It really shows that they're interested in learning about what it is I'm doing, and they have really important things to share with me. So always ask questions. Never be afraid to ask questions. It's really important. And so things that I enjoy doing outside of my profession. So my husband and I, we have a dog and a cat. So we like spending time with them and taking the dog on walks. We're doing a lot of home projects right now. So I actually like to build things and just build a fence. So various home improvement activities, and then I like to read a lot. Reading is it's always been a really big hobby of mine. And in my community, I also help tutor students who are kind of learning how to read. So it's just really important to me to always read something. So that is it. That's kind of what it's like being an urban planner. Like I said, it's really fun. I think it's really rewarding. And just being able to get people up and engaged in their communities, and especially getting them to walk around, that's a lot of fun to me. So I hope you learned something fun today and learned something new. And I hope from everyone's presentations that you're seeing that you learned something about a career that you might want to do. So thanks for having me. Have a good day.